At Esther's Place, we believe in hope, healing, and a brighter future for survivors of domestic violence. Our mission is to provide a safe haven for those who have faced unimaginable challenges. Esther's Place is more than just a transition house, it's a sanctuary where women and children who have been displaced can find protection and support. Our dedicated team believes that every survivor deserves a chance to rebuild their life and step into a successful future. We help survivors transition back to a life of independence and empowerment. Together, we stand against domestic violence, creating a community that supports, uplifts, and empowers every individual. Visit us at www.theestersplace.com or call 1-469-305-2100 to learn how you can make a difference. At Esther's Place, we believe that together, we can break the cycle and create a world where every survivor can thrive. Esther's Place is where hope finds a home.
The Exchange Club Family Center is here to help parents learn how to provide a safe and healthy, nurturing home environment. If you would like to be a part of the program and live in Nassau, Baker, or Clay counties, please go to the Exchange Club Family Center website at exchangeclubfamilycenter.com. Or if you'd like to become a member of the Exchange Club here in Jacksonville, please also go to our website again at exchangeclubfamilycenter.com.
Step inside the vibe, welcome to the flow. From the mind of Lil Joe, where the stories grow. Laid back wisdom, smooth as Sunday brunch. Alive for thought, he hits you with the punch. Lil Joe's mind, a maze of gold. From jokes to truth, stories untold. Pull up a chair, let the convo roll. It's the mind of Lil Joe, feeding your soul. Talking about the world from the wild to the mild. Every topic on the table, thoughts free and wild. Chill like a summer breeze, groove so divine. From the cosmos to the corner, all intertwined. Retro funk with a lo-fi swing. Chill rap waves, let the podcast sing. Wisdom laced in humor, truths in disguise. Lil Joe dropping gems, open up your eyes. From late night laughs to early morning rants. Philosophies dance while the rhythm enchants. Relax, kick back, it's the vibe we sow. Straight from the mind of Lil Joe, let's go. Lil Joe.
I apologize. I keep doing that. Look, I got a new platform that I'm using, and I keep forgetting to hit the unmute button. I'm looking down there, now I see the volume. So I apologize, I did it again. This is probably about the fourth time I did that. So here we go again. Welcome back to From the Mind of Lil Joe. Got a great show for you today. Like I said, but you didn't hear me say it before, there's a lot going on in the government, a lot going on in the country. I know a lot maybe going on in your home. So I got a great show for you. We got some ideas and some plans on how to help you maneuver these crazy times. As you see, I have a special guest here with me. So, ma'am, again, could you introduce yourself?
Yes, I am Leah Bush, the financial thought partner, helping you understand and think through into retirement. So just wanted to make sure that everybody understands what's going on with this shutdown and how we can maneuver in retirement. We're going to talk about a lot of things today.
All right, all right. So I believe as believers, no matter what goes on in the world, our Heavenly Father is going to take care of us. So we're not doing this show to make you worry, but what is the best thing to help you with fear? I believe the best thing to help you deal with fear is knowledge. So we're going to bring you some knowledge here today. All right, so let's go ahead and get into it. So I got a whole list of things because it's so much going on.
Mm-hmm.
So let's go ahead and get started with the shutdown.
Yes.
But before we keep going, I'm ask the audience, could you let me know how the sound, is it any feedback? Could I get anybody let me know is it any feedback going on? Echo. Okay, I think my wife said static in the background.
Mm-hmm.
Could you is it still here static? I apologize, got a new setup. So I'd like to try to go ahead and get that straightened out before we move forward. Do you hear static? I wonder if it's that speaker. I might just cut that speaker off. Sorry, what did it say? Sounds airy. Maybe it's because, all right, hold on. So we can hear you, but I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna adjust that. But can I give us your take on about the shutdown?
Absolutely. Voting is tomorrow for some of us, and it's really important that we take it serious. Who's going to come in and fight for us and do the things that are important to us. So concerning Medicare, Medicare, of course, is not affected. That comes from a different type of funding. So it's not included in the shutdown concerns. Also, Social Security checks are from a trust fund, so that's not a concern for the shutdown. So you say, well, what is affected? The reason why the Democrats are holding out is because of the Affordable Care Act, ACA, or some people call it Obamacare because he did sign it into effect. But that's huge. The shutdown is affecting benefits that are annually based on the budget. And then it's also affecting subsidies for Affordable Care Act. So you say, well, what is a subsidy? The plan is supposed to be just like the law says, affordable. And so for some families, healthcare is just not accessible and affordable. And so the Democrats are saying, this has been in effect for a while. It ends in 2025. So if we don't get it extended, if we don't do something by law, legally, we won't have those protections anymore to be able to afford health care for, everyday Americans that are not older under Medicare or make, air quotes, too much money for Medicaid. And so subsidies, it's a big deal. Premiums could double.
I'm seeing it, and I see a lot of finger pointing. I even saw I think it was yesterday. 60 Minutes interviewed the president, and the first thing he says, the Democrats' fault. So it's a lot of blaming. But if I made a lot of posts of different pages. I see people making comments and everything. It's like, well, go read it yourself. Go read, don't just listen to what the sound bites or different things that people are programmed or told to say. You go look for it yourself. And the interviewer was asking him, like, you've been talking about healthcare since 2015 or before, and you don't have a new plan. So this is the only, I don't want to get too deep into politics, but I'm going to talk about it a little bit. But this is like the only tool that the Democrats have at this moment. This big, beautiful, ugly bill just went through. They couldn't do anything about it. They couldn't stop it or nothing. So now this is the only little bit of power that they have is to not agree with letting the subsidies continue. So in a way, people are saying, hey, the Democrats is the problem, but at the same time, they're fighting for Democrats and Republicans. I don't see how we're in a government that could say, let's help one particular party or one particular view over the other when everybody's dipping out of the same pot.
And that's the great debate. You know, large government, small government, social programs are not helping. I tell you what, like you stated before, it's time for the church to step up. And I believe both of our churches have contributed tremendously to this effort to help and feed families. But when you're talking about healthcare is sticky because a lot of bankruptcies, like over 50% of bankruptcies, are because of exorbitant healthcare costs. So healthcare is a real issue that both sides should take attention to and solve. And so, you know, people, like you said, finger pointing, blaming Democrats for holding out, but, you know, they weren't able to do it in the big beautiful bill. So they're like, you know, listen, something has to be done, and we actually don't trust you to do it if we, you know, don't shut the government down. So although it's actually two different conversations, because the subsidies end regardless of the shutdown in 2025. So that's not really the argument. It's really truly about how can Americans pay for health care affordably.
Right. I see one divisive, it's just a word or two words. I saw some people going around interviewing people, and they were saying, what do you think about Obamacare? I don't like the Obamacare. What about the Affordable Care Act? Oh, I love the Affordable Care Act. And a lot of people don't know it's the same thing.
It is. It's the same.
So if they change and just start saying Affordable Care Act,
yeah.
do you think that would even change anything just a little bit?
I still go back to our elected officials. Like I said, November 4th is tomorrow, and it's really important that we pay attention locally and federally who has our interest in mind. So if you are for a small government, note to self, premiums that last year may have been, you know, $500 for a family is now $1,000 a month. And to change your budget, and we're going to talk about money a little bit, to change your budget $500 is a big deal. And so people may go without health insurance again, which is actually more expensive for our government, because when people without insurance shows up at the emergency room, it's way more expensive. And like I said, it leads to other things for different families, such as, you know, bankruptcy or just not going to the doctor.
Yeah, and that I'm going to touch on that a little bit. I know another issue was the emergency care for emergency rooms. So if you back in the 80s, I think it was 1989, so in the 80s, Reagan signed into law to where hospitals would have to take care. If someone had a bad accident, they would just give them emergency care to keep them alive and send them on their way, regardless of their status, regardless if they had insurance, anything like that.
Right.
I've dealt with other countries. Like I had a friend in the Philippines that was in a bad motorcycle accident. They didn't have the money to pay cash. They died. So with this country and everybody, I'll say everybody, a lot of people say this is the richest country ever. We can't set aside some money to make sure people just don't die because they can't afford to pay. And Ronald Reagan and the Republicans actually had compassion, and that's one of the things that's on the line where people say, no, we don't want these people to get free health care, but it's like being a human being.
Yeah.
Just being a natural human being is like, it's a bad thing now.
Well, again, I think the misnomer is that the subsidies will help people in a way, like you said, for free healthcare. We still don't have a free healthcare system. Like, that's not a thing. People are still paying premiums. It was just helping them with their premiums. The other thing that the Affordable Care Act did was took away the pre-existing conditions. So before, people wanted health insurance, could pay for health insurance, but couldn't get it because they had pre-existing conditions. And so that's again, it's making healthcare accessible and more affordable. And I do think that's worth fighting for, to give everybody at least a fighting chance.
Yeah, like I say, it's empathy, compassion, and yes, nothing is free. Even full, I don't know what the words to say, full-blown American citizen, been here for generations. It's still not easy. You're still not getting it for free.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and even Medicare, before I got into the Medicare industry, I didn't realize that older Americans pay for Medicare. Like, even out of their Social Security check, they pay $185, now, but that is even going up. So that goes up every year, where they pay that money out of their Social Security check. So Medicare is not free, even though we pay into it from when we're working. Even when you're older, it's not free. So we're not talking about free health care. We're talking about accessible health care.
Yeah, that is, I don't know why it's taken so long, but I don't want to drag you into this. But I've studied a lot of the history to where some of the programs, it would help one group of people, I would say that way, and they don't want it to help the other group of people in America. So they'd rather cut it off for everybody to make sure we don't help those people. That's a lot. If they had the people that they wanted in the country now, everybody probably have health care. So that's what's sad to live in a state like that. But I digress. We can move forward.
Well, it's no longer mandated. So you don't have to have, but like I said before, it's a matter of, so who are we talking about really? If you are below the poverty line, then you're not on the affordable health care. You don't have the subsidies because you may qualify for what's called Medicaid, which is a state program. If you have a job right now, then you may have insurance with your job. So we're not talking about them. We're talking about the Americans that are right there in their gap. Their job doesn't perform it. I mean, the job doesn't give it, which they're working Americans, but
That's
their
the
job
thing.
has not provided health care
Like
that works for their family. And then you may be talking about the business owner who doesn't have health care. Small business owners, entrepreneurs. So we're talking about real regular Americans, like you said, not the super rich, not the super poor. It's that crack in the middle that uses affordable health care.
And not trying to get a free handout.
Correct.
That's the thing. They're not trying to get a free handout. I know a majority of them, hey, we'll pay what we're supposed to pay.
Right.
But then it's outrageous. But then we still have a government that will give billions of dollars to people who really don't need it. So we give billions to a corporation, and then that same corporation have people needing health care, needing the SNAP program that we probably talk about. So I couldn't with my conscience have a good business and build a business, and my employees have to seek help from the government, and then I'm living large, chilling and raking in billions of dollars and sleeping at night, and bragging about it.
I hear you, but more likely it's the small entrepreneur that may have 5 employees. And before, when you were a small company, you couldn't afford to get a group plan.
Right.
And so this was, again, accessible for everyone, the small business owner, his employees, everybody could access the health care, but the subsidies make it affordable instead of making it where, again, $1,000 a month for health care when you don't make but that much, taking over 30 to 40% of your income, it's not affordable. And so that's why the Democrats are fighting for those subsidies. And again, if you don't believe in big government, that's fine. But like you said, what is the solution? some of the solutions that I've provided my clients with is supplemental insurance. And so it's not what we consider full health care, but it's something. It helps you with your dental, your hearing, your vision. It will pay for some doctor visits, you know. So there are other options out there besides the marketplace. The marketplace is there. It was the best all-around coverage, but there are some solutions, you know, certain agents like myself help our clients with other supplemental insurances.
Okay. And I'm gonna throw myself out there, and I'm gonna throw myself out. I just left working in a company, going on almost 30 years. So I had coverage for years, and before that I had coverage with the military. So now I'm stepping out to be my own boss, entrepreneur. So that insurance was taken away.
Yeah.
So I had to go and find some insurance. So I found a company, but I put some information, requested some information, and my wife requested some information. My phone rings about 10, 20 times a day, emails and text messages.
Yes.
They are wearing me out, and they are on my case, and I'm like, I don't know what to do. So what is it a safe place? But I know you as a company, they can reach out to you.
Yes.
And your information won't go to 100,000 people.
Right, correct.
So what's another solution for people to find information without being hounded by all these other companies?
I would say, like with anything else, do your research and homework, making sure that you find an actual company, because a lot of the things that we put in online, we put our information, like you said, it's a bank. And so that when you're putting your information in, it's going to several companies at one time. And so that's why all the companies are calling you. But to call an agent, to have someone walk you through your personal information as far as, you know, what are you looking for? Because it's not one size fit all. Some people, you know, might not want to go to the dentist but once a year, once every 6 months or whatever. But some people, listen, I need all 4 of my cleanings every quarter. I want to go. So when you talk about the difference in health plans, when you talk about specialists and medications, some people aren't on medication at all. Some people have, you know, a lot of medication. So it really depends on your needs and that research, and finding a healthcare agent that can help you navigate that, for me, is the best way. So research and finding a person to help you navigate.
So I can tell you this, I did, like I said, I know my information is out there. But I was online, I saw something. I was looking for, something to go with the military. But anyway, long story short, I did find somebody. When I'm typing up there, it wasn't she. The computer said, you're going to be getting a phone call from this phone number. And then my phone started ringing. Well,
And it was that number.
And that was number. So I dealt with that person, but my phone keeps calling.
Yeah.
So all these people
It's
keep
out
calling
there.
right now.
Yeah.
So they're wide open with me.
Yeah.
But I can imagine a lot like the elderly people who are going through this, struggling, trying to like who to trust, who to listen to. Some people who answer the phone, it's hard for me to answer the phone, but what if somebody answer the phone all the time? Everybody's trying to sell them something.
That is hard, because during open enrollment, I know some people, they get, and it's not an exaggeration to say, 20 phone calls a day. And so they're not supposed to call. They're breaking the law right there without your permission. Now, of course, you gave your permission when you put your name in there.
But I thought I was going to get with one company. You're thinking, I'm like, I'm talking to this one company. Can you contact me?
Right.
And then 20 people start contacting.
No.
So I don't know who contacted me.
Yeah. Most of the time, the older Americans are not filling in information online, but they get the calls because their number's registered as a older American. And so now I'm gonna be honest, on my clients' information, I put an app on there, a UMail app, where it blocks all the calls. So they don't get as many calls. It's a UMail app, but I'm sure there's other apps out there that block spam calls. So if you have a loved one and you know how, you go by their house and program their phone to block those calls, because the those companies are not supposed to call. Like, it's actually against the rules of CMS, which is the system that manages the Medicare, for them to call out. Now, if a senior sees a number on the TV, like they say, call in, you can do advertisements like that, and the member can call in. But as far as them calling them, they're not supposed to call.
Okay. I wish I could make some money off all these calls I'm getting. So let's dive a little bit deeper on the open enrollment. I know it's open enrollment season. I know every year at my job, all right, Miss Wifey, here you go. Let us know what we're going to do.
Yes.
But it's a lot of uncertainties now. So we don't even know if we're going to have the subsidies.
Yeah.
We don't know. It's a lot of unknowns. So how can you make a decision when you don't even know what's going to happen at the end of the week?
So, like we said before, some things are determined on the annual budget, and things like you mentioned, SNAP, that program for food and families, that program is based on the budget. And so when that runs out, unfortunately, we'll have a lot of families in need. When you're talking about health care, actually, those programs are safe. They're not based on the annual budget. So the shutdown is not going to affect Medicare and open enrollment. The subsidies, like I said before, they're going to end regardless in 25. So that's not based on annual budget anyway. That was written in the law that it would end in 25. Now, I guess they thought that they would come up with a better plan before now, but they haven't. And so what do? That's the question. Once again, for health care, for Medicare, open enrollment is October 15th through December 7th. And of course, I'm an agent, so I'm biased, but I do feel like agents help you navigate the system a little bit better. I would say find a good agent that will do a good benefit analysis for you as far as Medicare is concerned. And I would like to say you don't have to change. So they get an annual notice of change in the mail from their company. I just had a call today from a client. Their benefits are ending, so their plan is actually changing. And plans change every year, so you want to get a benefit analysis. And what does that include? That includes your doctors. Have you changed doctors? Has your medication changed? Maybe you hurt your foot or your leg and you want to start going to another specialist. That is very important that you navigate that through your plan. What is being paid for, what is in network, out of network, and this is the opportunity that everybody with Medicare, whether you're disabled, whether you're older American, whether you have end-stage renal, that's what Medicare pays for, and it's a federal program that is not in danger because of the shutdown. What's in danger is if you call in to Medicare, the person may not answer the phone because it's not enough. That's what affects. So the long calls, or like if you put something online, the system may not get back to you immediately, but if it's not automated, if it depends on a person to look at it. So Medicare is not in danger. You just need an agent to help you enroll. It was started October 15th and it goes to December 7th. And it doesn't start until January 1st. Now, when you're talking about affordable health care and subsidies, that's where we're sticky. So what do? Find supplemental insurance. And that way you get to do kind of a la carte. You get to pay for the things that you're actually going to use.
Okay. I think I got it. But I also I'm a travel agent.
Okay.
And there's a difference between you going online and planning your trip and getting a professional travel agency that knows what's going on, that knows what's going on in the other countries and everything that you would not know if you did it yourself. I got it.
Yeah.
I got it.
Yeah. And open enrollment for Affordable Care Act started this past Saturday, November 1st, and it lasts through December 15th. So they have time if they want their plan to start January 1st. But I don't know if a lot of people know this, you can still get on the Affordable Care. It's still open enrollment through January. It just doesn't start until February.
You said
February 1st. Yeah.
the Affordable Care Act.
Yeah, Affordable Care Act.
But it's, so you can still get on it.
Yeah.
But you have no idea what the price is going to be.
So yeah, no, they're showing the prices without the subsidies now when you log in.
Oh, without the subsidies. Okay, that's what it is. So you can see the price without the subsidies.
For next year, yeah.
Okay. But, and those people that's going to see that increase, what do they, pretty much they just need to go find an agent.
Well,
or continue to pray that it's extended.
So the reason why this is a tricky conversation is because every area has different plans. So for Medicare, they go by your zip code. So what they have to offer benefits here in Jacksonville are not the same benefits in South Florida, not the same benefits in Georgia. It could be United Healthcare, and my United Healthcare, you know, a lot of people like the U card, the benefit card. It's a card that they can pay for their utilities or get healthy food. So with United Healthcare here, let's just say in Jacksonville, even in Duval County versus Clay County or St. Johns County, that benefit on the U card is different. The doctors you see is different than when you go down south for, let's just say, Miami or even Orlando. So Medicare goes by zip code. With the Affordable Care Act, again, it just depends on if the doctors accept whatever plan you're on. So we have a few companies like Ambeller, Molina, but then again, even Supplement is what I was talking about, where you can get a separate plan through Aetna, or you can get a separate plan through other companies. So you don't necessarily have to have an agent. Of course, I'm biased. I think you should have an agent to help you navigate, but you could get on there. Just like you said, you can file your own taxes. You can do your own travel.
Yeah.
Yeah, your experience may be a little bit different if you just had help.
Mm-hmm. I got you. Get stuck somewhere, or get stuck with all these phone calls coming in.
Yes.
So let's move forward. So we talked about. Well, let's talk about. Can we talk about SNAP a little bit?
Yeah.
I was at an event. I'm sorry, where was it? Oh, it was the Florida Georgia game, the first. It was the first.
Mm-hmm.
The way the news put it, it was gonna be the end of the world. The SNAP program was gonna end, and then I was at the Florida Georgia game. I'm looking at all these people going up and down. I'm like, no, it's not the end of the world. But I know it affects millions of people, and I've noticed a lot of people like, okay, it's the people of color are taking advantage of it, but then you look into it, it's really we're not using as much as they're saying that we are. But so what's your take on it? What should people do, or we just have to wait and see?
Essentially, the SNAP program is federally funded through the annual budget. And so unfortunately, that is one of the programs that is in danger if the government does not approve, if they continue the way they are being shut down. And it's so unfortunate because it is the elderly and the people that are food insecure, meaning they may have food, but they don't have the options and what they could have if they just had the extra support through SNAP benefits. And again, it affects children, it affects families, it affects the elderly, and our elected officials need to come together and make a deal. Do their job.
Yeah, but and it's not like the money is not there. So I've seen where the FDA, is it FDA? USDA,
Mm-hmm.
The USDA had already had a plan for this. They set aside was it billions of dollars to take care of this.
Yes.
And it's sitting there.
Yes.
Collecting dust.
Correct.
While people go hungry.
Correct.
And then states have money set aside.
Yes, correct.
And it depends on who's in the governorship. Some of those states are issuing the money. A lot of the states deciding to vote not to issue the money.
Correct.
we should not be living in the country with that kind of partisanship.
Yes.
But
And here we are anyway.
but and you rather, I can understand there's differences, but when I say why would you allow your people to go hungry to prove a point or to try to get some points? I no, it's not you, but I just cannot understand.
No, it really doesn't make sense. And like I said, my church, I attend Celebration Church with Pastor Tim Timberlake, Pastor Jen and Tim Timberlake there. And we collected cans this Sunday, non-perishable items. And as a church, we're stepping up to do our part for the Jacksonville community. And like I said, I know your church did as well.
Yes.
And so, but y'all do that continually. Y'all have a...
well, not, we did.
Oh, okay.
We did. Well, I'm just just a little bit. We was doing it on a regular basis.
Right, yeah, I thought
but
that.
a grocery store opened up.
Oh.
And we couldn't do it with the grocery store there.
Standing right there, yeah.
Yeah, so that's why we stopped everybody, that's why we stopped doing it, because the grocery store, y'all can't just keep on giving food away when we selling food down, right?
Yeah, that was a Winn-Dixie that opened up, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was trying not to say that name.
Oh, sorry.
But Winn-Dixie, since you said that name, they do donate.
Yeah.
It's another ministry under our ministry that's nowhere near a location, and that Winn-Dixie donates a lot to them. And I believe we probably make a request for them to donate to us for this special occasion.
Right.
But they do give. So I won't put anything bad about them. They do give, but they didn't want us to continue. Because when we first started doing that, we was blocking just, man, we had traffic backed up so far because there's so many people show up.
Because people are not on SNAP and still have food insecurity. And so it's like you said, such a dire need that people don't have. Why can't we just be generous in the basic needs, healthcare, food? Let's really not talk about the housing insecurity. No, I can't.
I've been to a real estate class, and it was teaching me about real estate. I said, it's like about 1 million empty homes in the state of Florida that's empty. There's 1 million empty homes.
Yeah.
And we have
Homeless.
so many homeless people.
Yes.
We can't figure out how to put two and two together. That's what's crazy. A lot of stuff is crazy. So we talked about our health care, Medicare, Medicaid, the SNAP program. Now, retirement.
Yes, retirement.
You got to think about it before it's time to retire.
No, you can just leave your job without a plan, right?
Man, I use myself as
Yes,
I'm gonna use
yes.
myself as an example. Again, like I said, almost 30 years at a company. I had 401k,
Okay.
stock options. I'm doing good.
Okay, all right.
I got a nice amount of money, and that I went to the stock training class, and then they said, okay, you need I forgot my number. We were doing all these math equations and
Right.
stuff. At this age, right now, how much do you spend? You spend this much a year, blah blah blah, and then doing the math, you should have a couple of $1 million, millions, not one. You should have millions of dollars
Yes.
for you to survive until you pass away. I estimate it. So everybody had an estimated age, and this is how much money you estimate you have. And mine was millions with an S on the end. And I'm looking at, ooh, I thought I was doing good. But at this rate, I'm going to be trying to fight against AI and find me another job to keep moving.
And that is the number one thing that Americans, I'll digress and say my clients and people that I know are concerned about is running out of money. That's the number one. And so people say, well, Social Security, and then they say, well, Social Security might not be there. Right now, it's okay, and it's in trust, and that's why they're able to get that income for life. But what people don't realize is that Social Security is actually how it's calculated. So some people, you can actually make sure that their Social Security check is a little bit more by waiting to your full retirement age to start taking it. And, go ahead and look at, because they send you like a little sheet, and you can actually create your account to Social Security and see what that check will be about. And so some people's plan is to lower their expenses in retirement, pay off your house, have a good stable car, have a plan, and their expenses may be lower in retirement
That's it.
to fit. But let's be honest, retirement has changed a lot. It used to be where you could get pensions. Teachers are one of the few jobs that still have pensions, which is, again, you have Social Security, but then the pension can also pay you for life. But neither one is your full working check. So let's just throw out a number. If you were making $5,000 bring home, that is not your Social Security check. That's not your pension check. And so the idea is that your pension and your Social Security is supposed to make up your full check both together. But that's not the case. And so a lot of Americans, like you said, are still working past 62, past 65, past 70. And you're right. Unless you plan for it, it can be daunting. And so what I recommend for my clients is to have that plan in place. What does retirement look like to you? Now, retirement for me, like you said, a job. I'm actually a retired teacher. I worked for over 24 years in the classroom. And my retirement looks like still working and helping other people retire, helping people with their finances. So I'm still working, although I'm retired, because that's what retirement looks like to me, helping people, educating them about their finances.
That's good. I told you this, Claire, since I left the company, my full-time job, I've been in class after class after class.
Yeah.
And like I said, again, in the stock class, one of the things they taught us about the pension, a lot of companies had the pension plan, but they came out with the 401k. So the employee had to put money in, and they wasn't like, we're not going to keep paying these people for the rest of their life. So that's why the 401k plan came about. But I think a lot of people don't pay attention to it.
Yeah.
And I say, I didn't either. One of the questions that they asked me, not asked, but they asked it was probably about 100 people in this class I was in. They was like, do you know who your broker is for your 401k? It's like, know my broker? Why would I know my broker? It's like everybody has an account with a broker, and there's a particular person that is controlling your account. And you need to know that person and see if they're making decisions for your best interest, or they just letting it ride and doing whatever.
Yes.
And that's what they was kind of educating us about. Some companies, not all companies, but some companies are making more money off your money than they're making for you. If you don't ever check on it and see what they're doing, you could be missing out. And I think I was in tears looking at and understanding I should have been paying more attention, and I could have had more money.
Yes.
Like I said, when I left the company, I had to take the money out of that broker and I took it to another. So I had to cut a check or something. So I saw the checks are in my hands. Like, this is my life savings.
Yes.
After that class, before the class, I thought that was a lot of money. I can retire. But after the class, I'm like, this is not going to last a long time. Like, this is sad. But if I was more involved with it years ago, I know that check would have been
way bigger.
Way bigger.
Retirement has changed. And so, like I said, what I suggest is having, like you said, a plan, but then also other streams of income.
Yeah,
So
really.
you may have your 401k, and you can roll that over and make your own pension. If your job doesn't offer pension, you can actually have your money last a lifetime. There are different ways to do that. So again, depending on your lump sum, in no way, unless you're 59 and a half, do you take it because there's a penalty.
Right, I just put mine back
Right,
into.
you got to roll. Yeah, you got to
I just-
roll it over
Yeah.
into another account, and make that decision. Do you want to roll over all of it? Do you want to roll over some of it into making your own pension, money that lasts for a lifetime? Do you want to have it continue to grow in the stock market? But those are decisions, like you said, that you should be making with someone or after research. And so I am a licensed fiduciary to help people plan for retirement. And so my suggestion is at least 3 streams of income. You may have your Social Security check, not just that one. You may have your 401k that you roll over into a lifetime income. You may also have another stream of income. This is your second act. A lot of us are living, longer than 10 or 15 years in retirement, maybe 30 years. So 30 years is a lifetime. Is it really going to be filled with just sitting on the beach or traveling? Like, what does your retirement look like? And it may be starting that business you always wanted to start. It may be doing real estate like you talked about. But having another stream of income is really important. There's 3 legs that help stand you up. So if something happens to Social Security, you still have 2 incomes. If something happens to the stock market, you still have 2 incomes. You're not reliant on one resource. Now, of course, God is our source. He's going to take
Yes,
care of us.
Yes.
But more than one resource, more than one stream of income is important.
Work while you have the energy or the strength, that's one. And I think a lot of people, they say, when I retire, I'm going to travel. But they never put pen to paper and see how much that will cost.
Yes.
And then after, I forgot the different levels. They show different levels after retirement. I know one of them, it was like you get out and about, you're traveling, going different places, so that costs. And then you go to another level where, you were traveling 5 or 6 times a year, then it slows down to maybe once a year. And then it gets to this point where these medical bills start kicking in. And that eats up a lot of people's money quick too.
1,000% people need to plan for long-term care. What does that look like? Does it look like for your family to take care of you? Does it look like you in a facility? Does it look like what does your older years, like you said, when you don't have the strength to work anymore or you don't want to work anymore, what does that look like? And so again, it's not just about a big pot of money. It's about how is that money working for you? What is the money doing that can increase? And then what are the insurances in place? Because Medicare does not help with long-term care. They don't do that at all. And a lot of people don't know that Medicare will not help you do that. So you have to have a plan besides Medicare to help you with your expenses when you're older.
So an elderly person with nothing saved, no other kind of support, Medicaid is not.
So Medicaid is a state program, and that is what helps you take care of your long-term care cost.
Okay.
Medicare
okay.
does not. Right, Medicare is the federal program. And so a lot of people have both. You can have a plan that has both Medicare and Medicaid, and together they pay your costs. But as I was talking to elderly, one of my clients on Saturday, we both agreed. Now, she's still working. She's 68. And she said, yeah, I'm not quitting. I said, yeah, because alternative, we looked at her Social Security. That wasn't going to be a lot. And so the two together, her working income plus her Social Security, she did already take her Social Security because she was at full retirement age. That was the most she was going to get. But what it does is while she's still working, since she's already taken it, it doesn't add to your Social Security check. So let me give you an example. If you are 65 and you continue to work, that actually increases your Social Security benefits. They count those years that you're working past and putting into the system. So it increases your check, that working benefit. But she had already taken it. She's still working. And we talked about that long-term care issue. What does that look like? and to live off of her Social Security check, she would qualify for Medicaid. But who wants to qualify for Medicaid? You have
Yeah.
to almost be destitute.
And I hear some, is it, I don't, is it one of them where if you have anything, if you have any property or, I don't know, but like a boat
Outside of
or,
your outside of your primary residence, you can't be on Medicaid.
so you have to, like you got your favorite, I don't know, I'm sorry, I'm just saying, like your favorite car or a boat or anything like that, you have to get rid of those type things.
They cannot be in your name, which goes to the point of, do you have a trust that has all of those things in the trust name and you don't have control over it? Because Medicaid asks that question, do you have a trust where you're the beneficiary? So you can't be the beneficiary, you can't control it. It's an irrevocable trust.
Okay.
And some people call it a Medicaid trust, but that's not in my depth. I'm not an attorney.
Okay.
But that is what some people do to qualify for Medicaid is they put it into a Medicaid trust where they don't have control. They're not the beneficiary, but their family is now having all of that. But again, agreements can be made where you're still taken care of. But no, you can't have anything in your name.
Okay. This might not be in your area either, about these, like the reverse mortgage.
Yes.
You know a little bit about that?
Yes.
I see these commercials, it looks so nice and sweet, but then like, wait a minute, aren't they gonna lose their house?
Well, so
Maybe.
The idea is if, let's just say you do have 3 homes, instead of paying the mortgage on one of those homes, they pay you or you sell your home. So there's options there. So you won't own that primary residence. Your family won't own it, but you're not there anymore. So I have another client. She has no kids. She has no family. Like she doesn't have a husband or anything. A reverse mortgage may not be a bad idea for her if she needed that extra income.
Okay, I got you. But the way it sounds so easy to get, and I guess if the actual person needed it, but if they was thinking that they was going to leave something behind.
The reverse mortgage would not be the way to go because you no longer own the asset.
Yeah. So it seemed like a little bit of deception with some of the advertisements that I see. But like I said, it's so easy, but yes, if you're the right person.
So yes, correct. So like let's just say you live in nowhere, Florida, like it's just in the middle of nowhere. None of your relatives want this house. None of your children want this house. They live in the big cities, Jacksonville, Orlando. And you live in somewhere else, Florida. A reverse mortgage may not be bad. You love the country life. Mm-hmm. No one else in your family wants to live out there. That may be a good fit for you.
Okay. So it's for somebody. All right. I thought, like I said, the reason why I brought it up, it seemed like it was kind of deceiving to some people.
Because they don't understand that you don't own your home anymore. Yeah.
Right. Okay. So, my time. So we talked about multiple streams of income, and like I said, we were talking about sometimes what you need to make a plan. You need to take a look at what's going on, and not just it's just going to work out.
Yeah.
And the government, and I always said I don't want to depend on the government when I get older.
Right.
And I think a lot of people should have that same attitude, just like what can I do to make sure I'm not like right now, some people they're biting their nails like, what's the government going to do next? I don't want to live like that.
Right.
So I want to have everything is established, everything's going to be taken care of, and my family also. But if you don't make a plan, you're just going with the wind.
Yeah. And so just a segue, since you opened that up, we are having an event this November 8th, this Saturday, at the library on Edgewood Avenue. And we're going to discuss, it is 1755 Edgewood Avenue at the Braham and Brooks Library, discussing retirement, discussing wills and trusts. We have an attorney coming. we're also going to talk about leaving a legacy for our kids. And so the name of it is our Family Fortune Fest. And we just wanted to make sure that we invited everybody to come out and learn more about how do you have these conversations, because again, I deal with families all the time, and the conversation is, well, I don't want to, care for my mother in that way. I love my mother. I can cook, I can clean, but the other private things they don't want to, handle. It's a lot to, if you're a caregiver, it is a lot to care for a loved one that is in need, and that's actually how I got into this industry. My mom got sick, and alphabet soup of Medicare and all the things you need to do, no one in my family really knew how all of it worked. And so I had already had my license for about 7 years, and I was like, well, it is called a life, health, and annuities license, so let me look at this health side. And that's how I actually started with the Medicare piece, because I wanted to help my family. And so, again, what is helping your family look like? What are all the pieces? You have a TV channel here, streaming service, and does the next generation want to do this, or how can you make it profitable to leave the income at least to the family? And so we have those discussions. Like I said, November 8th is coming Saturday. 3 of us, a lawyer, financial experts, a tax planner, we're all going to come together and have these family conversations.
Okay. What just popped in my mind, again, what I learned from one of the classes I went to, I think it's the business plan.
Okay.
The business class. Exit plan. I had no idea that everybody should have an exit plan.
Yes.
So that's your life. That's even exiting your life. If you got a business, you need an exit plan. What's next?
Yes.
A lot of times we don't think about that. And we don't even think about that in life. Like a lot of people go, well, if I pass away, well, let them figure it out when I'm gone. But that's not leaving, that's not leaving your loved ones in a good place.
No, because they miss you. They're crying twice. They're crying because you're gone, but they're crying because the house wasn't in order. Mm-hmm. Everything wasn't in place. They may not know the bank accounts. They may not know passwords. It's so many things that go into planning that everybody should have something written down, something where they know. So a healthcare director. Now we're talking about estate planning, and that we have an estate planning lawyer coming, Ms. Tina Bell. She'll be there, and again, we're gonna break down what does this look like practically for you and your family to not just take care of finances now. How can you start that business? Are you going to do exercise hustle? Do you have intellectual property? Do you want to do real estate? What are those other avenues to have another stream of income right now? Then taking maybe that extra income and putting it in retirement so that you have a plan. Do you have insurances in place? I said the word, insurance. Do you have life insurance? Because that's another piece that you can take care of long-term care. Maybe you can't afford a standalone long-term care policy, but life insurance has changed now where they have what's called living benefits. So you have something were to happen, chronic or critical illness, you can take money out of your policy and use it for the things that you need. They even have where you can check a box, flip a switch, and it can give you lifetime income. It can help you with your long-term care. So there are a lot of different options, and it's really not one size fits all. It really depends on what's important to you and what does retirement look like to you. What does long-term care look like for your family? I hear it all the time. I just don't want to be a burden to my family. I just don't want to be a burden to my family. Planning keeps us all in a space of grace.
Amen. I think this will be the last question. I hope it don't go too long. But
Okay.
what if somebody say, I waited too long, it's too late for me to plan anything?
It's never too late to plan. It may not be the picture that you want it to be, but there are creative ways to get it done. I recently helped a family put a policy in place. We're not going to do the great debate of term versus permanent insurance, but that family decided to put together a permanent policy on one of their younger members. But because the policy builds cash value, the family put money into that policy together. Now, it's not for every family, but this family decided that they wanted to do that. What does that do? The younger member owns the policy, okay? The younger member is healthy and able to have a lower premium. So that member carries the family, but other people are putting money in the policy for their 90-year-old father who can't get life insurance anymore.
Okay.
So that's their plan to build that cash value up to use it as a policy for the grandfather.
Okay. That sounds
It's
good.
creative ways to do different
Okay.
things.
It's
Yeah.
never too late
Yeah.
as a plan. And you need to talk to an expert.
Yes. Well, listen, you can do your own taxes, you can plan your own trip, but when you have guidance, it makes you grounded. It helps you make a solid decision. Wise. What's the scripture? In the
Wisdom.
counsel of wisdom. Wise people. Yeah. Yeah.
Amen. What's our time?
Wise counsel. Yeah.
Time is almost up. But could you give us the address to the event one more time?
So it is Family Fortune Fest. It is 1755 Edgewood Avenue. And I look forward to seeing you guys there. You can go to my page. All of my handles, social handles, are at Leah R. Bush. That's Lear Bush. And you can sign up and register for that event. We'd love to see you come out in there. And then follow me.
All right. You can put the
Okay, follow me at Leah R. Bush on all social medias. So Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, I'm the same handle.
All right. Well, I thank you for joining me. Thank you for coming to our celebration yesterday also.
It was awesome.
All right. I appreciate it. All right, everybody. I'm going to try this one more time. Thank you for joining us this evening. I hope you learned something. And I know you have some questions. So you need to join us at this great event. All right? Okay. Until next time. Let me find my buttons. I'm doing the controls and everything from here. All right. Until next time, Lil Joe out.